who doesn't want to grow more in the space they have? And this will especially be the case if yours is a small garden. But here's the thing, many of the methods used to grow more will also help if you have plenty of room, because by growing more, there's naturally less space for weeds. It's a win-win all round, and we'll be illustrating how to do this using our garden planner. Hi, I'm Ben Van Heems, and on this channel we share the very best tips for growing an easy, productive vegetable garden. Now here's how to pack more in to make your garden even more productive.
When you want to grow more, it's tempting to simply put more plants into your beds. But this can just leave you with overcrowding the plants. They'll seem to grow well at first, but then, as they get ready to produce a harvest, the overcrowded roots won't be able to draw sufficient nutrients and moisture from the soil, and you'll get a disappointing harvest. Instead, consider these tried and tested methods to coax more from your hard-working soil. First, choose crops that yield a lot for the space they occupy. These are often plants that produce many fruits over several weeks. By choosing varieties which don't crop all at the same time and picking just the ripe fruit, you'll naturally encourage the plant to produce more. Even plants that are commonly harvested in one go can often be encouraged to produce over a longer period. Picking just the outer leaves of lettuce, for example, can give you a harvest over many weeks, while broccoli will often produce a second smaller crop of side shoots a few weeks after the main head has been cut. Second, grow plants vertically where possible. Peas and beans give a very high yield for the ground space that they occupy, and adding a trellis will stop them from sprawling over other plants, though be careful they don't shade nearby crops that need full sun. If you are using our garden planner, you can easily decide where your trellis will fit best and use the compass rose to remind you where shade will fall. Other vegetables that can be grown vertically include trailing squash vines and cucumbers, which can be trained up a trellis, as well as vining types of tomato. Third, include quick maturing crops in your plans. It's easy to place a few small vegetables in between rows of slow growing crops and have them harvested before the larger crops need the space. Radishes, lettuce and salad crops are often grown this way early in the season. Once your main crop has been harvested, it's also possible to grow a second succession or follow-on crop. In our garden planner, you can easily see when crops need to be planted in your area and when they should be ready for harvest. For example, these peas will be planted early in April to harvest by the end of June. We can mark them as being in the ground from April to June, and then view how our plan will look in July. Another crop, such as spinach, can then be grown in that area, and you can mark it as being in the ground over subsequent months. This makes it easy to spot any gaps and opportunities for squeezing in a quick maturing crop before the end of the growing season. In areas with very long, hot summers, our garden planner will automatically recommend separate spring and autumn plantings for cool season crops. If your growing season is shorter, you can extend it enough to grow a second crop by using protection such as a row cover, and the garden planner will automatically adjust the recommended range of dates when you can plant the crops grown under them. Fourth, use containers to increase your growing area. It's easy to forget that edible crops don't have to be planted into the ground. Many vegetables and herbs can look attractive when grown in containers on a sunny patio, at the front of your house, or in window boxes. Placing herbs and salad crops near the kitchen door is much more convenient, and it frees up your main growing area for bigger crops. You can plan out these extra containers in our garden planner too. Just remember that container crops need watering more frequently than plants in the ground. Finally, there are several ways to grow vegetables at closer spacing, but the devil's in the detail. The best known method is square foot gardening, which is a very productive method of growing a lot in a small space. However, it's vital that the soil is deep enough, is enriched with high nutrient compost, and is moisture retentive for this to work. Not all crops are suitable for square foot gardening, but by switching our garden planner into SFG mode, you can plan some square foot beds, while regular larger crops like pumpkins and fruit bushes can be placed elsewhere. See our video on square foot gardening for further details.
These methods can even be combined, for example growing high value crops vertically. And once you've made the most of your garden space, prepare to take your productivity even further with this harvest boosting playlist.